Alright, what I'm doing today is I'm going to show you, well, at least attempt to show you, how to cast a track that you find whenever you're out looking for Bigfoot. Not all the time whenever we're out that we have everything that we need, such as cardboard to make that little barrier. So we're going to try it with a few sticks, my footprint of course, and some plaster casts, and we're going to see how this works out for us. If it works out, well then you can take it to the bank. So anyway, this here on the ground that you're looking at right now is my foot.
Make sure the camera's on.
Bigfoot, of course, would be a lot bigger. What we're going to do right now is make a border around this as best we can with things that we would find out in the woods while we were out. What I'm going to do is just sort of lay sticks out around it, like such. And just like this. And this is the place where we'll pour our cast. What we got here is, of course, plaster Paris that you can pick out at any craft store, and water in a mixing bowl. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this plaster Paris in the bowl, put water in until we get a pretty soupy mixture. I think the soupier, well, you don't want to go too soupy, but I think having it soupy helps you get those maybe those dermal ridges that might be in that print, or some other things that might show up in a print with a soupier mix. If you make it too thick, it's not going to go into any kind of deformations in the foot or any ridges that are in the foot. So we definitely got to make her just a little bit soupy. So now, first off, you get your buddy's plaster Paris that you didn't have to pay for, and you put her in there. If you don't have a bowl out in this field, you can use the bag itself and water and mix it right in the bag. Oops. Plaster Paris can be purchased at any craft store. As a matter of fact, you can even buy it at your local Walmart. If it wasn't for Walmart, I'd be naked. Now what we're going to do is find a handy dandy mixing stick in the woods, and we're going to mix this stuff up and hopefully mix enough that we can fill in that cast. That's the important part. That's the problem about a bowl. A lot of times it's not big enough to mix enough for your cast. Now, of course, if this was a real big footprint, I wouldn't worry about wasting anything. I'd mix up as much as possible, just so I know I have enough. But the fact of the matter is I don't want Brian over there to have to run to his local Walmart again and buy more mixing material. But I am going to fill that up just a little bit more, especially with this stuff here I spilt. Oops. Sorry, Brian.
Dave, have you ever done this before? Seriously.
Yeah.
All right.
Why?
Because
does it seem like
you spilled like a pound of it on the...
Listen, it's not easy. This is a lot easier if you don't have skeptics standing over top.
I'm not a skeptic. It's just that you don't look like you know what you're doing.
Well, it's not supposed to. Okay?
All right, well, all right. When you're making a how-to video, you want people to have confidence that you're competent.
Well, they can have confidence that I am going to put some kind of white substance in that little box over there. That's the only thing they can be confident on.
All right, but we actually, will that produce a cast?
Well, we'll find out later on in the video now.
Right, well, it'd be nice to know if we had a reasonable chance of success before I made this video.
I'd say we got about a 50% chance.
Well, that's not a good probability.
Well, they call me the weatherman of Bigfooting. I got a 50-50 chance of doing something right.
Dave, you're not inspiring me here.
Just one more moment.
All right, so can you explain?
Okay.
All right, how do you know when it's
Well,
it's
it
mixed?
just looks soupy. Let's just go like this, okay? Look, I'm calling out not quite soupy enough. I want it to drip off that stick just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. You want it to look like your wife's cooking then?
I want it exactly.
All right.
When she's cooking and when she's making me up some potatoes or
Yeah.
something, I want it to drip off that spatula.
That looks a little too watery, Dave.
No, I think we're in good shape, mate.
That's
well, it could be a little
That's
bit
like
watery.
a bad clam chowder right there.
Well, if it does get too watery, the good news is you can add just a little bit more of this stuff.
Dave, if you add any more plaster, you're gonna have cement.
You're like a rash.
Dude, I'm just trying to make this video here, and
I'm just trying to save some of Brian's plaster.
see, you just dumped a pound of it on the
Listen,
ground. What are you
just-
saving?
What if he finds a footprint tonight?
Then he's gonna have no plaster because you dumped a pound of it on the ground.
All right, guys. And mouthy cameraman. We're gonna walk over to the footprint now.
All right.
You see, look, it's pretty drippy. See how drippy that is? I think that's what we're gonna want. A pretty drippy mix.
Okay.
Okay, so cameraman and audience, let's walk on over to the footprint and see what happens here.
Okay.
Okay, what we're gonna do, now remember, Bigfooting is approaching stuff scientifical. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill this up so it's nice, well hopefully nice and full, if I mixed enough. Like I said, if this was a real track, do not be afraid to mix more than what you need. Now we're just gonna pour it in there. Like I said, hopefully there'll be enough there to do what we needed to do. Now I hope Melissa Hovey don't watch this because she'll probably grade me on it. And I don't think I'm gonna get all that good of a grade.
You would receive a failing grade, Dave.
Well, I don't think I mixed enough.
Yeah, you didn't mix enough. You needed to mix twice the amount that you have there.
Listen, he gave me this bowl.
It's not
That's what
spackle.
I got to work with. Okay, let's go over there. And with Brian's permission, can I mix up just a little bit more to fill that up the rest of the way?
You know what?
Yes, you can, Dave.
We're gonna take a little break while you get some more plaster.
Okay. Now that we've stolen more of our plaster material off our good buddy, we're going to take and fill it up the rest of the way.
Dave, that looks really lumpy. That looks like scalloped potatoes.
This is what we're having for lunch tonight.
Seriously, I don't think you mixed that well enough.
Bruce, do you think it's ready to come up out of the ground yet?
No.
Exactly. We're going to have to come back to this in a couple of hours, maybe even possibly tomorrow morning. Giving it plenty of time to set up the whole way through is an important thing. Bruce, let's have patience now, please. All right, here we are again. We're back. It is about 2 hours later. Hopefully we gave it enough time to set up. I guess one of the ways that I've been checking this, and I've been coming over every now and again, and just kind of putting my fingers on it, and it feels pretty hard on the upside there. Hopefully it's hardened up in through the bottom. One of the things I wanted to tell you about and talk about is stiffening. We were just talking about this, and we were talking how a lot of people will take either sticks, popsicle sticks, straws, and they'll run them lengthwise of the cast right after pouring, or before pouring. I'm sorry, in between pouring.
Dave, why do you have to use your middle finger? Can you use something other than your middle finger?
Well, yeah.
I just
no, Bruce, I kind of like. I'm partial to my middle finger.
That's not appropriate.
I'm not real.
Can you just do it again, but you don't use your middle
Sure,
finger?
I'll try.
All right.
Anyway, what we're gonna do. Is that better? How about
You
this?
still,
How
you
about
still
that? Read between the
use
lines?
your index finger.
Which one's that?
That's the one next to your thumb.
Okay, this one here?
Yeah.
Okay, we're
All
going
right.
to go with the index finger on this one.
All right.
Anyway, what they do is they run the popsicle sticks, straws, or whatever have you, down lengthwise of this in between pores. What this does gives it a little bit of stiffening, a little bit of body to it. So whenever you pull it up out, it won't break in half. Good point. I never got to try it, but you know what? I think I'm going to put that in the rest of my casts if I make any more. So at this point, what we're going to do is gently move away our border. Like so. I think the best way to approach this, now as far as shovels and how we take this out, right now you can see the shovel that I'm using. It's sort of a, well, it's just a regular shovel. For the most part, none of us are going to be using this out in the field. We won't be hiking along with a big old shovel like this in our backpacks. We're going to have either, I find that a trifold shovel from your Army Navy stores or whatever works out really well. Or even the trapper shovels work out real good too. They're easy to get underneath. Something that can get underneath and work it up slowly. One time I casted and actually used a machete. Machetes work really well for the same thing. They're flat, they've got a wide surface, you can get underneath and start to wiggle it out. But I think I'm going to work about 2 inches away. I'm going to start off that way. I have nothing in this to stiffen it up at all. And I'm going to try to get off to the side of it a little bit. If the ground ain't too rocky, which it is. Pretty dang rocky. What's going on here is right underneath this, while it was drying, it created a suction. And what I'm afraid is as we try to pull it up, it's going to break this cast in half. So we're going to try to break that suction slowly so we can get it up in one piece. That already ain't going to happen.
Did it break?
Just off the corner here.
Oh my God.
Fortunately for us, it wasn't any of the foot. One of the things that we're running with problem here is this ground's really hard. I can't get this out from underneath here at all. It's a good point, Rex. Rex is a good buddy of mine. He's over there on this side, and he's showing me to use my knife just a little bit to get pushed underneath a little bit. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to work the knife the whole way around, just give it a little shove. Thank you, Rex. That worked out really well, as a matter of fact. Here we are with my cast, and I can already see that it pretty much turned out good. You can't see it really well right now. We got to wash it off. So we're going to take this and we're going to take and run water over it and get this ran off, and maybe we could show you what it looks like. We're lucky my break didn't happen right onto the foot. But you can see what I done there is I took my knife and just gently went around the outside of it, prying up just a little bit, breaking that suction. So
How do you know it came out good, Dave?
I can sort of see. I can see my toe here. I can see the little feet right here, my toes right here, and right there's my foot. But I think you'll be able to see it once we wash it off. Well, here we are back at camp. I got my jug of water and has my little spigot, and I'm going to try to wash this off and see if we can get a good look at it. Well, there it is. There's an impression of my toe, which turned out pretty good. You can see it picked up some of the debris that was on the ground freehand. But I believe if there was any dermal ridges or anything, that it would have shown it.
It looks like you have webbed feet.
It's your foot, Dave, not just your toe, honey.
What did I just say?
You said your toe.
Did I say my toe?
Yeah.
This is more than just my toe. There's several toes in this foot.
It looks like they're webbed.
They're not webbed. No.
All right, that's
not
what it looks like.
Well, they're not. I was born pretty normal. Except for this toe right here, you can see it's a little crooked. It sort of bends outwards. Yeah. See how that does that?
Yeah, it's like
pretty funky. Everybody in my family has that toe.
You have a niece that has webbed fingers.
Yeah, I got a niece that has webbed fingers. Though.
Yeah.
Those are like gargoyle toes.
Yeah,
Dave.
these are like gargoyle toes.
You should be perched on a building somewhere.
But for the most part, this track turned out rather well. Except for, of course, my mistakes. So be really careful. We can use that for a learning tool. Being careful whenever we take that out, that could have ruined that cast. But luckily for us, it missed the foot altogether. And that is it on casting. I hope you learned a little bit here.